Right guys, Mark Crossfield here. We're testing Titleist 915 D2 up against Callaway XR Driver. So we're going to give these two a hit, see which one might suit your bag a little better. XR, Callaway, Titleist 915 D2. Let's get stuck in. Right guys, so both these drivers are, well, they're aimed at variations of people really, because I mean, you go 915 to D2, we've got Jordan Spieth winning majors with it, through to beginners can use this club. XR, this is the standard version, again aimed at a different array of players. Arguably less tour players using this one than this one, but that's a lot more to do with the brand than it is the construction of the club. Putting both clubs down by the ball. I think they're both 460 head size, I'm pretty sure they are, but the Titleist D2 is more stretched back at the back, so it kind of presents down by the ball a little bit bigger. The XR is much more of a rounded kind of shape, where you get the feeling with the D2, I feel like it's a kind of straight face with a kind of straight stretch back and then a curve at the back, if that makes sense. But both very appealing, very glossy top line and top to the black face on the Titleist. It's a matte finish, much more on the XR. The XR is longer in length, which is a common thing with Callaway, as they're trying to be the kings of distance, always trying to squeeze that extra few mile-an-hour clubhead speed out there to give you more distance. So if we start with the Titleist, down by the ball, sits lovely and square. Got your sure fit neck, which allow you to change the loft and lie around to try and dial in a bit of ball flight. You've got your active recoil channel at the bottom here, which is going to help you try and keep the face less drop off in ball speed from variation of hits, is what Titleist will say, which it will help you do that. If we go back to the Callaway, actually, they've got our Moto on the bottom here, these ribs with these little lines, which helps you try to do the same thing as Titleist's channel. And you've also got a changeable neck. I mean, the two necks really look almost identical in what they do. SureFit certainly being the first ones to come along and do it. So let's give the Titleist a hit. This is a club I could easily game. We've got some real Titleist ball data coming at you as well. I've got the GC2 HMD on the floor, so I'll show you some real ball data also. So sits lovely and square off the face. It makes a medium to loud ting. It feels nice. This is a club I could very easily game. It's a real all-rounder, the D2. Does that make sense? All-rounder as in, I mean, literally, I think out of all, I mean, there's another company that produces an all-rounder, but there aren't many that produce an all-encompassing, and the D2 from Titleist is one. Tour players using it, and beginners could use it as well. There's nothing in here that's going to make it particularly hard. It's a lovely flight. It's not the lowest spinning club in the world. They've got a D3 which will offer a few less revs. But if you're looking for low spin, you might want to look internally rather than externally to start you off. I like the changeable neck. It's something I don't get involved in personally, but I have done with students and it's helped them. And it's a lovely looking club. I mean, it's Titleist, isn't it? They just do produce great looking and feeling clubs. And what they do is they totally produce clubs that do what the marketing around them says it does. There's active recoil channel on the bottom. That's a little bit more jazzy for Titleist. How much that will help you, you decide. You've still got to hit the ball somewhere near the effective sweet spot if you want to hit good shots. So if we go on to the XR, now the XR definitely has more bells and whistles. It's longer. Remember, you can get any of these custom fit to whatever length you want, but the length of it will make it feel a little bit harder maybe to get the sweet spot delivered to the ball in a consistent way as the club gets longer. That's not always a given, but a common point. It's got the two ridges on top, so almost like turbulations from ping, helping with airflow as you come down and hit the ball. To me, I don't love the look at them. They blend over time, but I don't love the look of them. To be honest, out of the two, the Titleist wins it on looks for me all day long. Apart from I do love the stealthy black look of the Callaway XR. Let's give it a hit. It's a very similar sound, maybe not quite as tingy actually, which is interesting. I always expect this one to be a bit louder, being the kings of distance. It's a slightly duller sound than the Titleist. Definitely prefer the look of the Titleist over this one. again, it's a decent flight. Now look, for me, I have no real issue lining up the sweet spot with the ball. It's something I feel I can do with a driver. So pushing a driver to max length, if I squeeze any more distance out of it, it's something that I would choose to do because I'm not going to go to the gym because I'm a lazy bugger. Let's give it one more hit and then we'll look at some of the data to see if there is actually any difference in the performance between these two. It's a good flight, slightly higher, but I mean, I could game that, no problem. Both of those are very well made drivers. I think the length of XR is something you might need to bear in mind. Remember, you can get them custom fit. The looks of the D2 definitely are going to outsell, I think, on a shop floor for shop appeal out of the two. But let's look at the numbers to see if the performance would sway you into choosing one of these over the other. Right guys, numbers time. Let's look at some of the numbers here. We're going 248 average distance carry with the XR, 250 with the Titleist D2 915. They're within 2 yards of each other. Longest hit 257 with XR, 256 with D2. As you can see, very, very similar. 2.9 spin on XR down to 2.8, nearly 2.9 with the Titleist. Slightly higher I'm getting out of the XR, and it's launching slightly higher. If I wanted to change that, I could custom fit lofts a bit more as well to change that launch. But those two clubs, as you can see there, perform ball speeds identical, performing very, very similar, if not the same, which is what I would expect from those two clubs. I think the buy-in pattern on those two would be down on the looks and how you feel you could present those looks. It'd be on the sound as well, which lots of people interpret into the feel. And then it would be a little bit maybe on the length of the club, so how much you're going to get it custom fit or just buy it from the shop. Might sway you in those, or this one just feels a bit long. But do remember, you can get them cut down. If you cut that down, so not as in get it built slightly shorter, not just buy it and then cut it down. If you get it built slightly shorter, then you might want to check that the distances don't change. But I'm actually getting no more real distance out of the longer head on that, which is quite on the longer shaft on the XR, which is interesting. For me, out of those two, I think I would game the Titleist. I think it would really be on the look, so that because the numbers, as I say, they're very similar. You're going to find that with all modern drivers because obviously they're built to the same tolerances, which I've been saying for a while. But I think that gives you more of an empowerment to just go with what feels right for you once you're testing, if the numbers are identical. Interesting. Post comments down below. Which one would you go for and why? I'd love to hear. Speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more videos. Find me on Instagram at Crossfield Mark. Also on Twitter at 4golfonline. Find me on Facebook, Mark Crossfield. Thanks for watching. Post comments as always, and see you soon.